Hey guys, gals, and my non-binary pals, it's Liam back at you with August question of the month. And the question this month is, was there a specific trauma that led you to your HIV diagnosis, or did it lead to a specific trauma? And how did you move forward from it? A lot of people know who gave them HIV or have a good idea of who gave them HIV. I think for me, my experience and how I contracted the disease was due to my history of seeking validation through sex and being promiscuous. I like this message to be a part of my advocacy because I know that we live in a very sex-driven world and we're very sex positive, which is great, but sometimes making these decisions in search of something that isn't just pleasure, make something that makes you happy, and it's something you do to, validate your feelings or make you feel accepted by your peers. So sometimes we go to those extremes or make decisions without really thinking of the consequences. So I contracted the disease at a party where a lot of things were going on, things with clothes and without clothes. So I'm not exactly sure who, passed on the virus to me. But I knew that's the place where it happened. And during that party, I kind of was almost blacked out, but still moving around. I wasn't thinking, and I think it was a lot to process, and I still wasn't processing it while I was there. And so I was just letting things happen and thinking, well, everyone else is doing it, and whatever happens, happens. I wasn't even thinking about the possibilities of what could happen. And I think that's pretty common for a lot of young folk, folks of any age who are trying to have fun and get this temporary satisfaction without considering what could happen. So this trauma and this experience of being used and without a clear mind, I can't say that I was assaulted, but I definitely was taken advantage of, but I put myself into that position. So it's not as traumatic as some other folks, but what they've experienced. But it was still something that, I regret, but I don't imagine how I would have done anything differently if I didn't have the information I knew now. That feeling of helplessness and confusion can stop anyone in their tracks, no matter how educated you are on something. But I was able to move forward from it and come to terms with my decision and the experience that I put myself in, and vowed never to let that happen again. I used protection. I asked my partners, and I wasn't putting myself in those situations anymore. And I've overcome that and realized that sex and what other people like about me doesn't validate or make me whole. And so sex became something that I could enjoy and not need to have to feel like I was a part of the group or doing what everyone else was doing. And I hope people can take away that to think about why you're doing something before you do it, and considering the outcomes. And I think everyone can grow from trauma, no matter how big or small. Thank you guys, and I'll see you next month.